No. She just
I
deal
was trying to
with
get white foundation. She's a special need. No,
special needs, right? Special
music
ed,
teacher or some shit.
special some shit.
Da, 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 da,
Right. So we interviewed her. So I was trying to remember if it was any women that we really did
But why I
interview.
gotta be the wrong and why I can't be respected?
A very pleasant good night to each and everybody. This is the Up Inside Your podcast. I am your host, Chad, and I'm here with Wunna Know She? She named Jessica. So we are going to be back in a few minutes to get this podcast started.
Just chat on. Truly.
Chat.
What about on the screen?
Yeah, what's going on, people? Good night again.
Nighttime, people.
Good time again. It is February 3rd, 2022. And we have the lovely Jessica Summer Reed
My full name.
with us tonight.
Okay.
And we are going to be having a no holds barred conversation with Miss Reed tonight. It actually already started. The producer and I were having some wonderful conversation with Miss Reed, and fists almost flew.
Wow.
Did
would
they?
You,
Oh, wow.
Would you believe it?
Oh, wow.
That's a bit much.
So, we like to start the podcast nice and light. So I can look at you from time to time and then look at your viewers. We like to start the podcast light. Why is it that you vote the LP back in?
Why did it?
Wow.
How do you know that I did?
I'm assuming because
You
it ain't getting
shouldn't. You
to see
shouldn't make assumptions.
her hair. Right.
My hair?
Thank you, Tyrone. Her
That's a
hair
very
is red
prejudiced remark.
and orangish. But as men, we can call it red because men don't really see colors as great as women do. What's blue for us is aquamarine and turquoise and all kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So a nice light question to begin this episode, Miss Reed. Why did you vote the BLP back in? What was it that was prepared and put forward that made you so aware, like, I believe this is a step for us?
I do not believe you have any proof that I voted the BLP back, and you don't even know that I voted.
Did you?
She wanted to plead the fifth or sixth or seventh.
The
We've
10th
never
even.
we've never had that on the show. We
What?
like a lot of open conversation.
Okay.
Where that you answer us whether yes or no.
But they did answer yes, or it was a yes
So
or
did
no
you,
question.
Did you vote?
I did.
You did.
I did.
Did you vote?
But I am not required to
The vote-
disclose
but
who I
the vote
voted
done.
for.
The
Right.
vote is over.
Non-committal.
I'm not
Yeah,
thank you.
at this point.
For all you
at
know, I
this
might
point-
put my ass outside the box. For all you know.
Okay. All right. You know what? I can leave it.
Okay,
there.
fine. I did vote BLP, but the lady in
Okay.
my constituency was a very good representative. She was present for the last 3 or so years we've been
Who's
seeing
your-
her
who's
regularly.
your lady?
Sandra Husbands. Yeah, she's
Okay.
been very
Wow.
good.
I didn't guess
So,
that.
yeah.
Wow.
So she did a good job. So I think she deserved to be
Mhm.
voted in again.
Okay. Fair enough. What's your area? But I am
St.
really the
James.
most
So-
St. James South.
South. Okay. So I am not the most politically inclined, affiliated, or have any knowledge about who's who, other than from the districts that I was
Right.
living in over the years. So it is interesting to hear that an actual politician was moving around and doing things and outreaching to the community outside of the window of election.
Elections. Yeah, she actually I think there's a lot of different little projects that she did. Like we had the pasture out by me got turned. They're like building like a walking lane on it,
Mhm.
and it was a lot of bush, and she debushed it. She had like
When?
a good while ago. Like it was at least a year now. They've been working on it. And the when dengue was like a real big thing early up last year, she did like a whole debushing and getting people to like she sent around garbage trucks to like pick up people's like refuge and things like that. So she did a good job. She showed up.
Fair enough.
When COVID hit, we got like food certificates and things. She came
Mhm.
around and gave them out. She was very active. Yeah.
Active.
So I can't really hate on the lady for that.
Well, I can't do any sort of hating for people that are actually involved.
Yeah.
Because what I am accustomed to, especially within my area, is invisibility. I only see said person or persons
When it's time
when
to
it's
vote
time
again.
for voting. And to be very honest, I don't feel as if a lot of people are open to having the discourse with people like me that don't care about all of this hubbub. We really and truly want to see proper results. We want to know who you are and what you come to do. And what you come to do and say you're gonna do, we want to see you actively doing that. And not just disappearing for the next 3-4 years. And then reappearing when you need us. So it is awesome because it's the first time for me hearing that a person was actually out in the streets doing what they were supposed to do, especially when people needed them most. If people, our viewers remember, I physically and verbally accosted many institutions regarding the fact that when we needed them most, nobody was coming forward and looking for the more vulnerable people within communities when we were on lockdowns, when people were not working, when households were up in smoke, in shambles. That's when I think that we need representation most. And that's when you give a shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Agreed.
So to hear this is different for me, and I want to big up that lady. What's her name again?
Sandra Husbands.
Sandra Husbands. Big up yourself anywhere it is. I care nothing about your political affiliation. What I care about is the fact that you're doing your job.
And that's all I care about
and that's
too,
it.
so.
Good. Right. So I was just, being facetious with the...
Yes, but I gave you an answer nevertheless.
And I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome.
Miss Jessica Summer Reed.
Stop calling me your whole name.
So let's get into the... But I call you name all the time in the comments.
All right.
So let's get into the actual interview here now, people. Jessica, why should people know who you are? I mean, I saw the publication, Wunna Know She. So I was like, wait, there's a popular person. I had to start doing my research. I actually went to your former school and I pulled your records.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
I
Good
learned
job.
that you were a very popular young lady at the foundation school. How do you care to comment on that?
I don't know that I was a very popular young lady at the foundation school. I think that is you and your producer's opinion. And it has absolutely
Please note
nothing
that
to
my
do with
producer went to the same school.
Christchurch
The
Foundation, thank you.
Foundation School, the
FS, black and
CCFS,
yellow.
whatever it is. This is the thing. The producer attended the school,
He did.
and I trust my producer. So why would the producer not give me the absolute truth about your history?
Because I don't know. Maybe he just misremembers it. Like, we all remember things a lot differently. I don't remember being particularly popular. I think it was just there. I existed. People knew who I was.
So what did you do at school? Modeling by any chance?
No.
Well,
Not
that
at
was
school.
only after.
That was after school.
Oh, so you see, as I said, I did my research on Miss Jessica Summer Reed.
Yeah, you stopped.
And I went, as I said, I went to the school and I pulled your records. What did you do at school that the producer would say that you stood out or was
That's
popular?
my point. I
Did
don't
you
think
have,
I did
you have numerous
anything.
cliques
I
to
didn't.
move around
No.
with?
I knew a lot of people. I like a lot of different people. I think people are entertaining. I don't like. I just like people. So like, if I find somebody that I enjoy talking to, then I'll talk to them. And like, I was never really trying to get into a particular clique kind of person. I just talk to whoever I feel like. Oh gosh, I just talk to whoever I like.
Okay.
And then move from there.
Right. All right. So let's go into the modeling now, because I personally, when I found out from pulling your file that you used to model, I was like, yeah, obviously she has to have been popular for a very long time, to the point that she does not know what no popularity is. Because people with low self-esteem, because when we are teenagers, we growing up, we know learning ourselves, we get accepted and clicked up, as I said before, and depending on how that goes determines how your young adult years go, or the trajectory for that matter. So the fact that you got into modeling, how did you get into modeling? Who was the person or person that motivated you to be a model and said, Jessica Summer Reed, I think you have model potential? Tell us about that
A
story.
guy saw me out and he was like, I think that you should come and model for me. It was a gay. Okay.
Okay.
A guy called Gregston, rest in peace, Gregston. And he just told me to come and, he wanted me to model for him. I was like, okay. And I was young, like, I had nothing going on, probably like 18, 19. I was
Young,
young,
fresh,
like,
and green.
at UE still, yeah.
Right.
So and I used to do like a lot of promotions, you know, promo girl, all that kind of thing. So like it was all wrapped up in.
Promotion for who? Guinness?
I did promos for Banks, Johnny Walker, Smirnoff, like
Popular
lots of
guys.
different people.
If there are any guys in the
Was
chat
it-
that would like to ask Miss Jessica Samarita a question, please feel free to place it in there and we will get on that. Continue, Jessica.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
You were saying you were promoting for
Right,
banks
so-
and
The guy invited me to come. I went. It was fun. I liked doing it. It was alright. Used to get paid to do things. I
Mhm.
always liked money. Money has been like a really big important thing to me all my life. So I kept doing it, and then I did Miss Barbados Universe
Wow,
in 2001.
I can't believe that you sitting on next
Not
to a
2001.
former Barbados Universe model. I've never been this close.
2007. I only went into it because you used to get free stuff. That sounds bad.
Oh,
But, like-
wow, wow.
No, okay, like so, like because it was modeling, I had lots like from the time I left school,
Uh-huh.
and the lady Candy Nichols that was running the franchise.
I know Candy.
Right,
I've
Candy, you
heard
know,
before.
Candy is very natural, you know,
Yeah,
her natural hair,
yeah.
whatever. And she had never had somebody with natural hair in
Mhm.
the pageant before. And she was
Mhm.
like, I want you to be the first person to do it. And I was like, I certainly do not want to. And she was like, okay, but you'll be really good at it. And it was like, no. And then one of my friends was like, yeah, but you can get free things. And I was like, okay. And then I did it.
So you like Dory in that regard. Just
just-
give you what you need and use.
No,
make
but
it
like,
something
okay,
else.
as much as I joke around, like I'm always down to like new experiences. So like,
Mhm.
if it takes nothing off for me to try it, I'll try it. And then I'll
Okay.
be like, then they could say I don't like this. I know that
Fair.
I'm never going to do it again.
Fair
But at least
enough.
I did it the first time.
That's
So,
that's
Like I
That's
would
a
literally never
reasonable
do
way.
another pageant again because I remember the night before the pageant, Damian Marley was here and I could not go and I wanted to cry.
Wow.
Cry. Because I was in a hotel and I could not leave. And they said
Mhm.
they will never do this to me again. And I literally never looked
so
back at that
since then
pageant.
has he been in any position for you to see him again?
No.
So then why would you limit yourself to not doing a pageant again?
Because it traumatized me.
Okay,
I was trapped.
Oh.
that is unfortunate. You said something. Honestly, it just dropped over my head though. But we can continue on.
It was
The
probably
modeling.
not good. Right?
It probably was not.
Right.
But the modeling, did you find that you made friends in that world or like among the other contestants, or was it like a catty situation? Because you know they love to promote that.
But I don't
especially
have
for
I don't have
reality
energy
TV.
for cattiness. So there
Mhm.
those things existed, but you could try to be catty at me and it will act like you don't exist. So like it will be wasted energy.
Right,
So I don't think people ever really put that energy towards me because
right.
I don't. But I'm like, as Mr. Romao said, maybe that's why I'm popular because
Mhm.
it's just vibe. I don't really have time for all of that back and forth drama thing. I
I've
don't
never
really
heard of.
think.
Well, I'm sure it exists because of. That's another competition altogether. Feminine energy grouped up together.
Mhm.
But every time I've heard about pageants and that kind of thing, it's always been the girls is talking, whether at the beginning or at the very end when it's declared, it's always be, oh, how they met so many sisters.
Mhm.
and
Actually,
all of that.
when
It's
we
always
came
like
out of my pageant,
camaraderie
it was
coming
actually
out
all
of
of
it.
us
I've
were
never
actually
heard
very
about
good
them.
friends.
I've never heard cattiness. I've always heard people
We
who
didn't have any of those
had the
scenes in
experiences.
ours, yeah.
say it was something that, good experience that they developed friends for life from.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess that comes down to, let me be honest, there's entertainment in the cattiness among women, and then women would eventually gravitate to whose personality links with yours. So you would find at the end of it all, out of the, let me say it was 10 people, you made 3 solid friends.
Mhm.
So yes, at the end of it all, you would know, okay, well, Jessica and Sarah and this person were the 3 that I linked with. We had good chemistry, good camaraderie, so we can continue this friendship outside of this pageant, but all the rest could dead. That's basically what it's
It's a
coming
bit
to.
extreme.
But no, I mean, let me be honest, there is that, the opportunity for great friendships to be forged among foolishness. It is what it is, because that's how TV works. That's how reality TV works anyway. If there's no controversy, there's
Precisely.
no entertainment.
There's no reason to watch.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
there's
true.
no
True, true, true,
entertainment.
true, true.
So that's why all them other shows that I don't even know the names of them off the top of my head, they don't even get on my register. So be back to the modeling again.
Why?
Did you win anything? Did you come
No,
for
I didn't place in the
the universe.
in the Miss Barbados universe. If
Right.
that's what you're asking. No.
In the universe. No, you placed in the universe because obviously you are
I'm
important.
here. Yes.
You are important.
Yes.
You matter.
Thank you. I appreciate you
Let
telling
me
me
just
that.
do a 5-second viewing so that you know my seriousness. You matter.
Okay. Thanks, Chad. This is very uncomfortable.
5 seconds.
Okay.
I was going in my head. You gotta be genuine, though.
Right. Okay.
So, what would you say to a young girl who's beautiful, talented, has a whole world at her feet, and the most, the biggest dreams? Because that's maybe he's got the biggest dreams when we're young and we don't know shit about life.
Yeah, I know the reality.
Yeah, we don't know how
Right.
stink, but here it is. What advice would you give to a young, upcoming young lady who wants to break into the world? And I usually liken it to like fashion and designing and all of these things because I would assume that those things amalgamate under the same category. What advice would you give that young lady or young ladies?
I don't know. Back then it was a little different. Like you had to, there were like different groups and you had to get into a group. And like now is you could literally just do your own thing. We have all the social media and all the TikToks and the, and the whatever, and you could just post your own pictures, take your own. Like, we got girls now that will get their own friends as photographers, take the pictures and put them up. So you could literally make your own career. So if that's what you want to do, that's what you should do. Like just do it. Just get up and do it.
You don't have to
Figure out how you
scout
can
it
do it.
anymore.
Yeah, you don't have you could literally put yourself out there for anybody in the world to see. You don't have to be in a group that has connections and that can push you towards people. I mean that happens still. Those groups still exist, but you can make it easy for yourself to get into one of those. Make them come to you that kind of way.
That segues into another thing because once upon a time, as you were saying, you needed a scope, you needed somebody to recognize your talent and be able to put you forward in order for you to get somewhere, possibly be seen, signed, catered to. Nowadays, everything is at everybody's fingertips, from music to movies. Because I think I can't remember the name of the guy, but to me he's give me filmmaker vibes. The guy that's do all these long-winded stories on TikTok.
I know who you mean.
Can't remember his name, but I see it as both an advantage and a disadvantage because people, young ladies who really and truly don't know how this world works, are basically putting themselves out there for the sharks and the wolves. And that's why I still feel as direction is necessary. People that established within the business that you can go to get advice from, people like yourself that would have been a part of the industry, to seek realistic views on how to go forward so you don't fall into pitfalls like we know the perverse nature of how photography can go. How the guys who would say, oh yeah, I could turn you into this, and they're contacting you via email because you will got all your information on your bio and the like. I still feel like there is a place for the traditional way. I just think it needs to be tweaked in order to save some of these young ladies, because the other reason why I say this is because a lot of people see the glitz and glamour and think that's what the life is like. They really and truly don't have a real life view. That's why I'm constantly stating that people like you that would have come through the previous mode would understand what they need to know. You have the experience that they don't. So have you ever considered possibly becoming something like that? Like,
No, simply because that's not something that I am passionate about.
Mhm.
I don't that was fun for me back then. Like
mentorship
regarding the fashion and the models.
Yeah.
I don't care enough about the industry to say that I would dedicate my time to that. Like that was fun back then. Like I said, it was young. It was like 18, 19, 20, like it was fun. Like I don't even think about anything down that line now. So for me to decide that I would be, mentoring somebody would be very fake because they will probably know more about it than me at this point.
Right, and you do have an energy that is very nonchalant. People tell you that all the time.
All the time, man.
Like you don't hit me as a woman who is very emotionally driven. and that's not a bad thing. The thing is, what
Okay.
I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
I got what you mean.
don't
Okay.
you don't come off as a person who, if somebody gives you their opinion on something, you're not gonna internalize it and take it as, oh, this body tell me that I am ugly or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nobody
You
could
know
never
how.
tell me that I ugly child.
Yes,
Like,
there it
ever.
goes.
Right.
Because that's literally how men
That's a lie.
are.
Mhm.
Unless he's soft and he's timid and that kind of thing. We generally don't care what nobody thinks.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. But you did mention it is not what you're passionate about. So tell us, what are you passionate about? Momtrepreneur. That's also another one of Jessica Summer Reed's titles, Momtrepreneur. So go ahead, tell us what you're passionate about.
I'm passionate about my child and my life and
Mom first.
mom.
So
Yes,
admirable.
mom first all
So
the time.
admirable.
That's where the real passion lies. When it comes to things that I enjoy, like or I'm good at, I'm a very linear thinker, so planning and organization and that kind of thing is where my brain defaults to.
Mhm.
I tend to think very logically, which maybe is why I'm not the emotional.
You got Keith and
Thing.
Janelle in the chat.
Hi, Keita and Janelle.
Yeah, Keto Janelle.
Right.
Good night, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. As usual, if you have any questions for Jessica Summer Reed, please feel free to place them in the chat. This guy here, so Shane Gibson, he did say something. He said,
Shout out to
you
Shane.
were a few years my junior, a regular lady with a brain. That's all I can remember.
Thank you.
Anonymous Miss, good night to you. Going on. I saw what you did there. Yes, people, get up there and go and vote for the Up Inside Your
Yes,
podcast
yes,
because we
for
are the
sure.
biggest, baddest thing.
Yes,
Anybody
yes.
that says different don't know what they're talking
Hating.
about. So, with that being said, let's
Mhm.
continue with what you were talking about. You were talking about being a mother and what you are passionate about. Please
Right.
continue.
I was saying passionate. I don't know if it work.
You know, this is where the conversation gets interesting because, and I now remember what I wanted to say.
Okay, here we go.
Miss Reed is actually trans financial.
Very.
Explain to us what that is.
Please.
I don't remember what the definition for trans financial is. Chad.
But
You
you
tell
ta-
them.
but basically,
I am not rich, but I was supposed to be.
right.
Right. I am meant
She
to be rich.
identifies,
I identify as a rich person.
woman that does
I don't
no work.
actually.
Uh-huh.
I don't like. I want to work because I feel like, not because I have to. I don't like the pressure.
Mm,
The pressure
right.
of having to work.
Depression is give you depression bars. Continue.
Okay. Like I like doing what I'm good at, which is my job. But
Right.
there are days that I don't feel like doing it. So
Right.
that's why when I say passion, like I don't wake up every day and be like, yeah, work.
Mhm.
Like that's not.
We have,
What
before
I
you continue, we have a gentleman, Shane Samuel, is asking, Jessica, are you single?
Why is that a question?
I
Shout out
have
to
no
Shane.
idea. I have no idea. But Shane is asking the question, and it's our duty as podcast hosts and
Yes,
co-hosts
yes.
to ask our viewers.
Especially our international viewers as
Oh,
well.
oh
'cause
my
Shane
goodness,
is-
and he's international?
Yes.
You telling me that you transfer national and you shooting down these men?
Shane, you are my business. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't.
Continuing. Continuing.
Yes, right.
So you are basically a woman trapped. A rich woman, sorry, trapped
In my body.
in a working woman's body.
Yeah, I don't like it.
How do you cope with getting up every day then? Like it cannot be easy for you.
Is there a surgery for that?
I wish. Is there? I wish there was.
probably
it's,
is,
it's
but
called the
pretty
lottery.
expensive.
It's called
Oh.
the lottery, but I haven't won
Right.
it yet.
Yeah.
Right,
Have you bought tickets to possibly win the lottery?
Nobody asked for your opinion.
I was asking a question.
Don't
Okay,
bring your
continue.
logic into this.
Continue.
Right. So anyway, I have a child, so that's why I wake up every morning.
Right, we
I
have
to take care
a
of
new
her.
person in the chat saying Spinny. We outside.
Spinny.
Hi.
The person shouting out to Spinny.
Who?
Spinny that's do the workout thing.
Oh,
The
used
person
to be
is
a spin
shouting him,
coach.
or he's in
He's-
chat.
no,
chat.
no. Kita is shouting Spinny, but Spinny says we outside. So
Right.
I never saw the name before, so I just noticed it. I
Mhm.
do keep track of my viewers, Oh, sorry, our viewers, So continue, Jessica.
What was I saying?
We were talking about how difficult it must be waking up every day, and
It's not
dealing with-
difficult to wake up. I don't hate life.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not depressed or anything. Like
Mhm.
seriously, life is good.
Clinically,
Not at all.
have you been to therapy to find out if you are?
I don't need therapy to tell me if I'm depressed. I'm not depressed.
You're not.
I'm positive.
Okay.
I'm just poor, but
Okay.
not depressed. Right. So yeah, like I genuinely enjoy life. Like
Mhm.
I have people in my life that I enjoy being around. I have a whole daughter to take care of,
Right. We can get
and
to
I
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
her very
Yeah.
much. She's quite a character.
Right.
So like I'm not laying down in bed like regretting having to get out of it, but I would like that when I get out of it that maybe I don't have to work
Mhm.
today. Like I
Okay.
might want to work later,
So
but
is
not
there a
right now.
plan? Is there a plan to see through your trans financial situation?
Yeah, I can work until I don't have to anymore. I don't have a choice.
Okay. All right.
The mom entrepreneurship is
Mhm.
you working for yourself?
Yeah. I work
Yeah.
for myself. I
Okay.
have 2 businesses, Virtual Air Barbados, which is what, Chad being the host and all should have, started
Yeah,
with.
I was hoping
But
that you would.
Kathy, please.
right, Virtual Air Barbados is just virtual administration, and I help small business people with pretty much anything admin, like they pretty much anything, like if it's involved planning and organization and
Mhm.
all of that, I do it. And then my other business is a concierge service, which was previously called Crop Over We Go because it focused just on crop over events, but has since then become a full-time thing. But I was prior to COVID. Of
Mhm.
course, COVID jumped that in the stomach. So it's still there, but it was paused temporarily. We're now starting to get
Is
that
that
back
concierge?
into
When you say
it.
concierge, you mean like what would be?
Like basically,
The
for
one
example,
crop
for
over
crop
packages?
over people, anybody that was coming in for a crop over, we used to arrange event tickets, accommodation, rental
Right.
cars,
Okay.
anything that they need help with.
Yeah.
I would pretty much organize it, and then they
Mhm.
just come in and it's there, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So you were heavily involved in. So you would say that the concierge service was or is your passion?
Yeah, that I enjoy doing. Like I would consider that my passion, just because that is not the same thing all day every day. There's always something new. It involves a little bit of event planning, which I happen to really enjoy.
Mhm.
So the admin is like what makes the money. No, because that's something that
Right.
people need all day every day,
Right.
and it's something that I'm good at. So I'm not hating on it. Like it's good for now,
Mhm.
but I don't know that I would want to do that for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what event? I know you did an event around the Christmas season, correct? Or was for
Not
the old year?
really.
Sorry, the old year.
Not really that I did an event. I
Mhm.
was working somebody who was putting
Putting
on an
on one,
event, and
right.
it was just doing the admin, but that's not anything like,
Mhm.
I wasn't planning it per se.
Oh, I thought that was a situation that you were in full control.
No,
of
just
the-
arranging some stuff behind the scenes. Most of the time, like there's certain event promoters that I actually work with. So big at Limers Cruise, big at Scarch Barbados. Them I work with,
Okay.
up front, but like most of the time the other people are just behind the scenes, like doing the admin,
Mhm.
arranging licenses and that kind of stuff, like proposals, nothing too in your face,
Mhm.
thing like people wouldn't know that I'm associated with it, that kind of thing.
All right.
That's
So
good to
Keita
know.
is asking for a
Actually,
little
very
more
good to know.
clarification on Virtual Aid Barbados, because you just gave us a synopsis that you deal with the admin portion
Mhm.
of all businesses, because
Yeah.
all businesses need to have an admin department, whether big, whether small. So could you give us a bit more detail into Virtual Aid Barbados?
Oh yeah, well admin covers pretty much everything, and that's why I said I could do anything. I've worked for travel companies before. I've done sport. I used to work for a sporting organization for like 6 years.
Mhm.
So like I've been doing admin all the time. That could go from like planning meetings, planning actual events. That could
Mhm.
just be like basic data entry. That could be creating proposals,
Mhm.
Excel spreadsheets, like anything, all the things that people don't really think about that need to be done in the background of making stuff happen
Mhm.
is admin. So something as simple as responding to emails or setting up like a mailing list or, social media, yeah, but I don't really like social media, so
Mhm.
I don't even like to do my own, so I
Right.
don't do other people's. But all of those are things that are administrative duties. A lot of people focus on the front line and seeing things come to fruition. So, for example, all of this is happening right now, but there's probably admin that your producer has to do behind the scenes
Mhm.
to get you to this point.
Right.
When you're finished, he's gonna have to do other things to
Right.
get that put up on YouTube. And
Right.
myself to saying that this is what I do, because if you come and ask me if I could get something to do and I could do it, then
You
I do
get
it.
it
Well,
done.
if it's legal.
Mhm.
then I'll do it.
Yeah, we gotta emphasize that part.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Because there's quite a number of illegalities.
Yeah, I don't do
that
illegal
exist.
things.
Makes sense. So, so with that being said, what are you working on anything currently in terms of the promotion? Since that there seems to be the trajectory for crop over this year, are you planning anything that you could talk
Should really
about
get ahead of
or?
it.
That there's nothing that we can do at the moment because
Mhm.
I don't know why they keep lagging on the whole crop over thing, because you can't just come and say, oh, okay, fine, we're having a crop over, and then we just make an event happen
Okay.
like that. Like
True,
there's too
true.
much things in the background
that need to happen
that
initially
need to
before you
happen.
get to
Even
that
if we
stage.
take Lamers Cruise into account, that's 10 entire boats,
Mhm.
like with like thousands of people.
Mm.
We can't make that happen in 2 months. So
Okay.
like it's February already and crop
Right.
overs in August.
Right.
How would we? You know, so
Right.
at this point we could as well call it a not going to happen.
You don't know that you
Kinda
brought that
seen.
up, right? Do you
Right.
feel like we are being held hostage?
Definitely.
Explain to me what you think so.
Why am I still on curfew?
Okay.
What's happening at midnight? What's happening at midnight that's not happening all the other hours in the day?
Mhm.
There's no reason for me to be having to go in my house at a certain time. I'm a big hardback woman. Why? Why am I going inside at midnight?
I feel what you're saying there because numerous times, Tyrone and myself, we would have had very opinionated conversations about the C word and everything leading up to it, everything that we have done, proposed about it, and nothing is working.
Mm.
Nothing has worked, to be very honest with you. Because if you look at the times when people were stating, oh, well, we don't have a curfew for XYZ day and time. And then, because I don't think we have one for the recent elections.
It's such a
And
slap
then
in the
we
face.
started to see the so-called numbers rising again.
Well, people were outside dancing in the streets like crop over.
You understand?
So
And then I saw numerous people at cricket with no masks on. And I mean, oh yeah, I remember you're a big sports fan as well, so we can segue into that when I done here after we talk about being held hostage. The reality is, as far as I can tell, the only reason why we still have a curfew going on is because they want a certain percentage of the population vaccinated, and it's only when that occurs. Because I think they even
I
had
don't
a
even think it's that
conversation,
anymore. I think it's just we
to me,
having a
like, it
curfew
can't even be
because
that.
nobody has actually
made noise about
openly
it.
pushed back against it because
Oh, okay.
like look at the situation where there was no events either.
Uh-huh.
We had the
and we had to keep noise. Correct.
basically made raise their hands in the air and say, look, police teacher has something to say,
Uh-huh.
and wrote that open letter to the government, and
Quick,
in no
so-
time there was events.
Uh-huh.
Nobody has openly said, why are we still in the curfew?
So in other
We only
words, we
having
gotta
that in
get pushed
competitions
back.
like this, so
We
it has to
got-
be pushed
we-
back.
But the thing is,
Okay.
right, I feel
Shout out
as
to the
though
truckers
people,
in Canada right now.
I feel as though people are literally already pushing back. I myself have been on the road after curfew. On my way home, Mr. Policeman, if you're watching, I was on my way home already.
Allegedly.
And people will legit be like on the road like normal, like real cars on the road. I don't feel like if Bajans are checking for the curfew anymore. So this is just a rule that's there hanging over everybody's head, but everybody like, you know what? Whatever.
Spoke about it in
And just
recent
doing
times
them
when
things.
they said that the existing or the previously existing directives were going to come to an end, and new one was supposed to go into place from Monday of this week. They used to send around the little
The
PDF
little
things on
update thing,
WhatsApp, but I haven't seen any to tell you if the curfew still exists or if it
I
doesn't
think
exist.
it still exists. When they did the whole press conference about the thing, because I didn't watch it myself, but I usually get my updates from Twitter. The Twitter people are very on the ball, and I remember them saying that the curfew was still there. And at this point, it really does not. If you can remove a curfew for your Republic events and for the
Christmas
Christians
Eve.
to go to church to midnight mass and for elections,
elections.
then you are laughing at me.
Extend
You were
it to
giving me a
2 o'clock
slap
the
in my
morning for New
face.
Year's.
Right? Extended it to who? Why
2
we went
a.m.
inside for
for
3
3
hours?
hours.
Tell me why we went
Insult-
inside for 3
Because if
hours.
somebody if somebody can continue to insult your intelligence.
Like it's so
When would they
disrespectful.
stop?
And as I
Right.
said, I'm a
When would
very
they stop?
logical person. So when you come into me with things that blatantly do not make sense, I get very offended. Those 3 hours that we went inside were for what? What were they for?
To get a bath and come back out.
It just doesn't make sense. The curfew doesn't serve a purpose. Like you
It
said,
really
it's
does
we
not.
pretty much being held hostage. That's what it feels
So,
like.
do you have any opinions on what we can do or what we should do? I mean, because remember, I started the conversation with why did you vote for the BLP? And obviously, those are the individuals that are the present government again. So, based on the fact that majority of Barbados and Barbadians are basically saying, why is it that this is still happening? We are seeing on the international news and wavelengths, oh, Denmark is moving forward, recognizing that COVID is just like any other disease. It needs to stop. Wearing of masks are no longer necessary. People can travel here. There's no isolation, blah, blah, blah. Why is it that whenever it comes to the ways of the world in a negative connotation for the Barbadian people, they are quick to enact things, but the positive ways they do not bring? We could talk about customer service, we could talk about technology, we could talk about any myriad number of things. Why are we constantly going around in a circle, chasing our tails like wild animals, when we are looking to people to give us guidance and direction? It is absolutely sickening to me, hence the reason why I did not vote, because I feel nothing for any of these parties. I don't care nothing about parties.
I don't care about
I
parties,
care
to be
about
honest.
people that are positioning themselves to assist the average Joe, because we need the help.
Yeah.
And when I see that you are stomping, trampling, and degrading people's intelligence, like Tyrone always says, because I think that's one of the biggest insults that you can give to a person, other than spitting in their face. I rank that right up there, so we're insulting intelligence. You see, when you got clones, you could do anything. But when you standing up in front of learned people, and they have the common sense to ask you sometimes simplistic questions, you don't even need to be complicated, and they can't answer you, which is this current situation.
Is
that
it
we're
that they
having.
can't or they won't?
It's just an exercise in
Well, I say can't.
authority.
I say can't, because they're
That's what it
choosing
is.
not to.
Yeah.
They can't answer us because they've got the big fancy lawyer degrees and all that
It's
stuff.
exercise not an authoritarianism. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
Right.
it's pretty much just letting you know
I
that
control you.
I got the
controlling
power
you.
and you do
And
not.
that's what
So,
and that's what I said before in the podcast and previous episodes. When you give people power, absolute power, how do you get them to relinquish it? They're not going to, unless you give them pushback and you make noise and you start to say, you know what, we had enough of this shit now. Here what's gonna happen.
That's exactly what needs to happen.
Right.
In all
and
things.
that's
In all
exactly it,
things.
because even as he said with the promoters thing, like that became an issue because there was such a great pushback about it. Like the men went to the media, the men come together and write the create a whole like little graphic, and everybody had a thing on it. So it became a big thing, and that was like a big discussion all on all the different social media platforms. So it for you to blatantly ignore people then is like, oh, but you definitely ain't care about anybody. So I think that you gotta keep noise. Like Bajans are very laid back. It's always been one of my
That is
least
the
favorite
problem.
things about us as
That
a
is the
people.
problem, and I think that the people
Because
in power know
I
that.
am very much not a laid back person. Like I'm as Mrs. Spinney would say, I am burn your house down. We are to burn down everything when I believe in something. It's really, oh well, let me go. I ready to roll.
All right.
So, like when people are so laid back and I ready to like get in the middle of the road and riot, and everybody else like, oh, okay, well, let's go inside because it's 11:59. It's be real fast because vegan just keep having to go inside at midnight.
Yes, I love
like
that
every
energy.
night.
I
You
love
want
that
it?
non-complaint.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm necessarily, like a rebel, but like I just don't like
So
foolishness.
you gotta be rebel with a
You have
cause.
to. You have
Yeah.
to be.
You gotta
You
be
have
I
to
don't
rebel
like
with a cause,
foolishness. So.
because they
Don't stand
have
for it, just-
they have basically ostracized people who don't like they basically have ostracized people who like to question, because they want you to be compliant, they
Yeah.
want you to follow. So we being told to read the chat. Let me see what's going on here. I get a chat, people got questions, and I saying literally one question. So I'll read that. Anonymous missed. I saw a custom to the thing now. I always put people in two categories in terms of event planning: the big idea and the detail oriented. Which one do you see yourself as, and do you think a person can flip sides?
Definitely detail oriented. I'm sure that there are people that can do both, but one thing I've noticed is that, the creatives are usually the ones at the front. They're the ones with the really great ideas, and they're the celebs and the influencers and the whatever. But the creatives always need people like me because they the creators are very scatterbrained,
Right.
right? They got
That's
too
like me.
much going on.
That's like me.
They anybody that is a really great like creative person and has all the ideas and is the one in front of the camera, etc. Usually has somebody behind the scenes
Definitely.
that is gonna focus on all the little things that they can't focus on, and that's usually
Tell
me.
you
I
that
don't
for
need
a
to be in
fact.
front of the camera. I have no interest in being anybody's social media personality or anybody brand. I just like to be back there doing what I do and fixing whatever problems pop up, and then making sure that everything look pretty. So it's all I will let you have all these spotlight, and I'll make sure that you look good,
Right.
and I'll stay behind the scenes and focus on the little small things that people don't really think about.
All right. And Keita is asking, what is Jessica's sports aspirations? I don't know. where-
Aspirations or
Sports
affiliations? You play
aspirations?
sports?
I don't
No,
have
she-
any
that's the
sports
thing.
aspirations
That's
whatsoever.
the thing. I just mentioned that I know that you're a sports fan
Yes,
because
I
and it
am.
being cricket, because I mentioned the cricketer,
Right.
the fans of cricket going,
Right.
and when they were seated, there was no mask wearing. Some people had it on. It was scattered, but mainly people were without. I know that you're big into cricket. You did work for the
West Indies Cricket
West
Board.
Indies Cricket Board for. So did you do admin for them as well?
Yeah, I was admin for their high performance center for 6 years.
Right. So this
Oh,
was the
wow.
6-year job that you had mentioned. Right. So tell us a little bit about where your love for cricket came from.
I mean, we grew up in the West Indies.
Mhm.
In the West Indies, you either love cricket or you hate cricket. Like there don't really be no nonchalance towards it. So my grandparents.
I feel it's either
Like you
love
just
it
don't check,
or it's-
right? You
or
don't check for it, right?
Hate or nonchalance. Yeah.
And my grandparents always used to got cricket on in the background. Like my uncles would go and watch. I was never like a fan. Like I will watch it. Like sometimes the games just get really exciting kind of to the end.
Yeah.
That was my vibe. I would say I only really became really invested. Obviously working there, I became friends with players. I was there. I had no choice but to be involved. So when you're working with something all day every day, you become heavily invested in it.
Right.
So that is where the love for it would have come. Like I would have
Okay.
actually started watching games on purpose.
Right.
Like,
Because
and
you're working.
because of working around them all the time. So now, even though like I'm a West Indies fan, but like I only watching for my friends, and I ain't even shame if one of my friends ain't playing or watching the game. I don't care. Just because they're stressful, I don't need the unnecessary stress. Like I can take the unnecessary stress from my friends.
Those were good, man.
Right, but I'll take the unnecessary stress from my friends, but like I ain't taking unnecessary stress from nobody. But like just random people, that's no. So like I watch like when there are people that I want to see how they
Playing
perform.
the games.
But I do love the sport. Like not that I don't love the sport, but it just I'm not like a diehard,
Right. Right. I think that was what for me when it was growing up. Just like you, what was one of the things that you had to be, and back in the day, you either were a B or D household.
Yeah.
You were going to church every Sunday, and you used to watch cricket.
Yeah.
The cricket was on TV. Period. So my uncle and my grandfather, they were heavily into it. And I started to get close to it. I used to fast ball in primary school, and I enjoyed it. But the love for it was killed when my then primary school coach. There's such a strange story. I don't even want to share that anymore. But what I will say is that cricket back then was quality. The players were in it for the love of the sport because we didn't have them major
this
contracts.
is where me and you gonna get real
And
wrong.
I
Let me
love
go,
it.
let
And
me
I
go,
love
child. I
it.
know this is where you want.
I know,
go.
but
Let me go.
I know that you have friends there now that may be quality players. I can't speak to their persona because I don't watch the sport anymore. I don't follow it. But back in the day, when you hear the names like Carol Hooper, Curly Ambrose, Court Walsh, Jimmy Adams, those were the names that would resonate quality, love, result. So it's like what I started to become was more like a sport analyst in my coming up when I started to migrate now to football, where I noticed that when the money became bigger, when a player would be bought for like $100 and some odd million, a person was basically given that off of like maybe a good season. But back in the day, you had a player that a record signing would have been like 20 million. So
Back in the 90s,
back in the 90s, that would have been a record signing for a player, and that person had World Cup experience. They had many seasons under the belt, goal scoring and everything like that. To basically in big dog goal chains bowling, I feel like the contracts that they're receiving when it is that you got a team, because don't forget we were on top of the world in those days.
Yeah.
When we was the top of the world. Now we barely making it. We will win a little cup here, win a little competition there, but it is nothing consistent. Yet again, I speak under correction because I don't follow the sport. But you can tell me if I
She
am not
said,
so.
Dr. Crossy, but she said Chad cricket career began at 12.
Yeah, Shane. Look, you know what? I can share the story real quick.
Oh, Jesus God, here we go.
My coach, Mr. Brian, I hope that you somewhere right now sitting and watching this show, and your fingers have rheumatoid arthritis. Because when I used to bowl, right? I used to bowl so good and so fast because I had height coming up. This guy, because he did not like me, would bring even younger students from class 3 and 2 to play in our games against, because back in that time in St. Andrew there was St. Andrew's Composite, there was the name's beating me right now, but that had a whole bunch of schools in St. Andrew before they amalgamated and became the Costa Edwards, right? And Chalkymount was the team that used to control things. But because there was a love triangle, believe it or not, there was a teacher that he really liked.
I cannot.
That she used to want me to be the class prefect, and we used to go to lunch together and all that stuff. I mean, it sounds crazy.
I feel like you making
It
this up.
sounds so crazy. But now that I am older and I look back at the situation, that's the only explanation, because I was the best bowler there was.
Okay.
The man literally had an issue with me and would leave me off of the team and I would get taken to the games and I don't get to bowl. We need wickets. Who's the man that's been getting 5 wickets and thing a game? Chad. But Chad ain't bowling.
Chad
What sense
Chad
that
is
make?
very scarred
That's
about
all
this.
that's all like mismanagement.
He is so salty about this.
Mismanagement because of a love triangle.
So salty because
So,
it could have
oh,
been
no.
you and one these
Oh,
big
no.
gold chains bowling. It
You
could have
want
been
some?
you upset.
I could have been the
understand.
captain because ask Kurt Edwards.
Yes, the whole
Ask who that fella name now? Corey Collingmore. Ask all of them. At Alexandra School when Mr. Vaughn was the PE teacher. And they will go there so bowl against these men. They bowling and swinging Yorkers at big toes that they can't get dig out. I could talk. These men could come forward and say yes or no. Because those are the established cricketers. I would have never known. Kimar Roach was younger than me. Like maybe 2 years or so. So I wouldn't have been around his time when he came through the ranks and did what he did. Congratulations to him and what they're doing. And I feel good to know though that former Alexandrians actually got to the West Indies team. I feel good about that. So big up them and big up Mr. Vaughn. Anyway, he's a retired PE teacher now. Big up yourself, Mr. Vaughn. But let me get back to Jessica because I just don't want to talk about this no more. I just get a little heated.
You okay?
Yeah.
Choked up.
Okay.
Let me just get a little sip of water.
So anyway, let me clarify that the man back in the day used to wear big gold chains too.
Yeah, Carol. Who
All right, so let me
not.
not try to come at my boys as if them just out here flaunting.
Defend your man.
I will, as if them just out here flaunting.
Mhm.
Everything that they do now, the men used to do back then.
Mhm.
All right, it's just that we don't win, but let me not worry about that.
But the
Right?
results are
But
what matters.
no, but it's not even just. It's not a matter of talent. That's something that also stems from the top, right?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
is a lot more. It goes into politics. Politics plays a very big role in cricket.
Mhm.
It goes into like mismanagement of
Team choosing.
like
Mhm.
where funding's supposed to go to like develop certain parts, and
Mhm.
like it's a lot that goes into it. It's not just like the men can't play. Like these is men that got talent. Like you could see the talent. You see the talent pop out to certain people every now and then,
Mhm.
right? So the talent is there. So it's just the back in the day, it's not that they don't love the cricket too. These men love the cricket, trust me,
Uh-huh.
right? As much as y'all talk about the money ain't big enough for them to be doing this if they didn't love the cricket.
Mhm.
Unless you was a Chris Gill or one of them men.
That's what I'm
Like,
thinking about.
but
yeah.
that's like him and Bravo and them kind of men. Like they're
Yeah.
a dime a dozen, right?
Right,
That
right.
gonna get by to travel all over the world. The rest of these men that just playing or retain a contract with West Indies and thing, These ain't men that, you know, like,
netting six figures or nothing.
that gang that Chris Gill doing Bravo money
Okay.
to say that, you know, them doing it,
They're paid very
them
well.
doing it just
So
for the
that
money.
makes sense.
That's why here
That's-
wondering because I
they're
know.
paid very well.
No, no, don't get me wrong,
They're
they're
paid
paid
very
well, but it's not to that level of money that you
But
could
I
say
think
that
you
these
should
men
go
just
work
doing
to
it
get
for
to
the
that
money.
level still.
But Chris Gayle and Debra was international in the end. So.
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's not to say that the men don't love the game. The men ain't like, I hate cricket, but this money good. Like them men
Well,
love
so
what they're
it's
doing.
Well, this is a few years ago. To my knowledge, West Indies are like second or third best best paid players in the world. I think it was
You sure?
Australia, India,
Uh-huh.
and then the West Indies.
You positive?
This was a few. It obviously could have changed. No, but
Cause I see them contracts. Well,
Fair
I sorry,
enough.
I used to see them contracts.
think
I
that
can't
was
speak
on,
to
like,
what
some,
it is
like-
now.
I think I was like on ESPN in terms of the
Maybe
net
maybe that's
salaries.
counting in like the
Net
big names like the
salaries.
Bravo and the Chris Gayle and them. But when we talking
India
about
and
the
Australia
regular
Or
the
is it
regular
England and
retainers, I don't
Australia?
know that them men getting paid a spectacular nothing compared to the rest of
probably
the
encompassing
boards.
everybody.
Right.
Alright,
that
so-
probably includes the big names.
So Spinny is saying Carol Hooper and them used to get wash off.
yeah, them used to get beat too. That's why I tell you like this. So
Which cricket Spinny talking about? Because yes, it's not to say that West Indies were undefeated with the Carol
men used
Hoopers
to
and
get
the like
wash
them,
off too.
but they have the best results in terms of the time that they were, the decade that they would have been playing cricket in any competition, World Cups, etc. They have the best that we have in terms
When
of
I hear people
the West
talk
Indies
about
cricket.
cricket now and cricket then, it's be a very nostalgic. I
Mhm.
believe that nostalgia really taints a lot of people's memories
Mhm.
about cricketers
Yeah, we
back
get
then.
we the hard times
Yeah.
when did they get what you call whitewash.
Right,
we,
like,
we,
cause
we remember that.
Them men wasn't out there like winning any and every game too. Like them men was wearing the big gold chains too. Them was flaunting. I know
Alright,
that Viv
so-
Richards
so-
and them had attitude the same
yeah,
way too.
but with
So,
all
like,
of that said, do they have the best winning streak?
I don't
in
know.
their
I don't know the
eras?
stats.
You
That's
don't
the
know.
question. I
Alright,
don't.
so that's
keep
something
the
that we
stats
can
like
do
that.
for homework and we can bring back to people. But we got people Shane and Shamar with them dangerous self saying that they want to see my ball in action. If you want to see my ball in action, that's fine. We can meet on a
Cause
pasture.
y'all not rub salt in the wound. Let
Yeah,
the man,
I mean-
let the man heal. All right, just let him heal, please.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just.
Oh my god.
But honestly, right, my source or my inspiration, who I used to pull inspiration from, was Curly Ambrose. He was a personality that I like. Courtney Walsh was more like a serious player. He never used to feel like
Walsh,
I never
yeah.
used to feel like if he had like
Walsh is
a full personality.
professional.
Yeah, he's like, I come to do business, I come to take wickets, and I come to take them seriously.
That man is usually be the jokiest.
So, well, I never met him, so I think I just went based off of what I saw on the field. And Curtly Ambrose, I just loved his energy when he would take a wicket, how he would get on. He ignorant here still even to this day. And his bowling action was what I actually used to mimic, Shamar and Shane. So if you want to know what I look
Go and
like,
watch a video of
go and watch a
Curtly.
video.
Shamar
That's
and
what-
Shane, yeah, with his
yeah.
self.
Right.
But let me tell you something. I really and truly enjoyed watching cricket back then, even though, let me tell you, before, that was long before 2020
Yeah, 'cause
existed.
it wasn't as
And
exciting
when we
as
used to
now.
sit down and watch the either the half, you used to call it half day? It was 50
You 50 over?
50 overs, but I can't remember what they used to call it. It was a term for
One
it.
day?
Yeah, I guess it. No, unlimited overs come with 2020. Yeah, you're right. I
One
think
day.
it's one
One
day.
day,
One day.
ODI,
Well, but the what was the one that's long as shit?
Test?
The
Test
test
match.
cricket. That to me, especially because of what Brian Lara did, I always remember he could have been out caught at the slips at 18 runs. And because of that drop, that man went on and made the 360, how much? The first one when he broke the record,
Yeah, it was 360.
366.
He met 375.
375, and then he come back again
Met 400.
for some odd. We
400.
going back in the day cause
400
that's when
not
we the
out, yeah.
teenagers and thing. And I always remember that. I feel like we have the best history, and I understand what you said about nostalgia, because it's like if somebody remade, I don't know, Thundercats or something, we would be upset because
Right.
it's like there's a legacy behind that that doesn't need to be tainted.
Right, but like 20 years from now, people are going to look back. Younger people are going to look back at this current team
Right.
and remember that Jason Holder got 4 wickets and 4 balls 3 days ago or whatever,
Right.
and they can feel that same nostalgia, and then they're gonna be like, these new cricketers is very shite. Like that's my point. It's just nostalgia. Like
Right.
it's not that these men any worse or they don't love the cricket as much, or like it's not. Like we just viewing it in nostalgia tainted glasses. That's all. You just in your feelings because you thought that you was Curly Ambrose, and no,
No, I didn't want
that's
to be Curly
all. That's
Ambrose.
all you
I
can think
used
of.
to-
Right.
I didn't used to idolize him, but I loved his energy. That's just what it was for me.
Ambrose, yeah, Ambrose
The
was
energy,
aggressive.
yeah, the
He was
energy
real
was it
aggressive,
for
boy.
me. And
I
how
would say, man, what's that? Like, I think he had gotten run out, right, and it was a real controversial decision. This is back when it was a little man, probably in primary school, and it was big controversy. And if we think we were playing England, and then we came on to bowl, he got like 8 or 9 wickets for like 45 runs. And done the game in a couple of hours.
Right, so that's why I tell you, like back then there are things that you're going to remember. Back then there are things that the current people are going to remember now. What's so funny? Tell
no,
us what's
Shamar
happening.
was like, you ain't had no one pad on the left foot. That's what we come up in. We had the cone. We didn't have no wickets. We had cones with 2 sticks inside of that and the middle missing. And I would be let the man know jerk another memory. I would be bowling. The man would miss the ball. It going straight through the middle, and the man would not. The teacher would not give him as out. I was like, sir, but the ball going straight through the middle. Oh, you didn't appeal? I was like, I would go appeal if a wicket was there. Look, I used to get so
No,
hyped
that's
about
not-
this man.
You
I
so
really and
salty.
truly hope it's my son we are right now with rheumatoid arthritis. And he cannot hold his cup of tea. Mr. Brian, wherever you are, I hope this is your fate for damaging my dream. And the hopes of my family,
This
because
man's
right
been an origin, you know, like-
right now I could be wearing a big dog gold chain, and I could have had 3 hoses bill for everybody in my family.
There's your villain story.
Guys, this has been the Up Inside Your podcast. We thank you so much for being here. We thank Jessica Samarie for coming through and spending some time with us, and we definitely are going to have you again
Wait,
because we didn't even get the opportunity to talk about the beautiful Maya.
that's true. We didn't.
And that is actually another part of your life that that's what I like about you. You're very diverse. Even though that you are very nonchalant, and that's the energy you give off, and people would I bet, right, people that get real, like, what you call tired, like they would say, all right, you know what, Jessica right now I talking to she and she just ain't really care, let me get a little break.
Yeah, I guess the average person.
Yes, but yeah, we definitely gotta come back and talk about her because I don't want to give away anything, but that is another reason why I say, like, talking to you because of the diversity of your life, where you go from being the professional woman to being the mom entrepreneur still, and then you have all of these separate interests and passions and events that would have taken place in your life. So now when I get the opportunity to know a little bit about Jessica, so when I could say, Wunna Know She. This has been the Up Inside Your podcast.
Before you
Don't
close
for-
off, Chad, don't do
Yeah.
that. Kainon.com
Correct.
/podcast of the
Go
year.
vote, people.
Vote for Up Inside Your podcast. Shout out to Kita. Shout out to Janelle in the chat. Shane and Shamar, my good buddies. That was my friends, but yeah.
It makes sense.
Shout out to
Troublesome, yeah, it makes sense. Right.
Everybody know got questions for you. Jessica, as a cricket fan, do you think Jason Holder is being treated fairly?
No, he's not.
So he needs
And I'm ready
another
to.
one?
Don't roll me up. Let
You
me.
see,
Don't roll me
look,
up.
it's already 9 o'clock.
Don't start.
I can't believe you time went long already. Okay, that's somebody saying he thinks something's wrong with straight dudes. Mike, what you his name is Tyrone Anonymousness. Straight dude. Oh, and Janelle was saying that Tyrone's mic was lower than the others.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
But they at least heard you.
hopefully.
But as I said, this is the Up Inside Your podcast. We thank you guys so much. Please remember to go and vote for us on the Going On Awards. This is our first time being nominated for this prestigious situation, and we really and truly will not accept anything other than men. So, with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for coming through every Thursday, spending your evening with us. We